Welcome back to the channel and thanks so much for stopping back by today. Today I'm jumping into the topic of what concerns me the most about an insurance business. You see, when you start to explain opportunity to people, when you are particularly excited about something, sometimes you tend to talk about everything that's good about the business. Oh, it's great money. Oh, it's a great product. It's this, it's that. It's all good, good, good. But we don't talk about the bad. We don't talk about the areas of the business that you have to navigate well in order to win. That's exactly what I'm going to do here today. I'm going to give you my 3 biggest concerns in the insurance business and address those concerns right here, right now. So come on inside, sit back, relax, and let's get down into the business. All right, number 1, you know the name of the game. It's all about your customers. It's all about, can you get customers? Can you close those customers? That starts with leads. Leads, leads, leads. Who is your lead source? Who do you trust enough to go out and get leads on your behalf? And you either pay for those leads or maybe you get those leads for free. I don't know. But who is your trusted lead source? That's the first question that I believe that you have to ask yourself when you come into this business and you start plotting your plan for success is, what am I going to do about leads? How do I get leads? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do about it. I am contracting with a company called Equus Financial. Equus Financial has a lead generating platform, and they provide leads to the agents that work with them, right? You can purchase those leads from Equus. That's exactly what I am going to do. I am going to start out purchasing leads because I realize that the lifeblood of my business is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, leads. That is what will allow for you to win, and that is what will cause you to lose if you don't manage leads well. So I'm not going to play any games with leads. I'm going to make an investment in leads every week. I told you I was going to make a $2,300 investment in my business every month. 2,000 of that will be leads. Now, that's what I plan to start out with, $500 per week. As I start to understand the business and understand how leads work, I plan to increase my lead investment, because if you have a certain amount of leads, you make X amount of dollars, right? So you have to figure out how many leads you need in order to make the amount of money you want to make. Once you realize, hey, it takes me 6 leads or 8 leads, whatever it may be, to sell one policy, then you know how many leads you need to buy to make the money that you want to make. It's that simple. But who is your trusted lead source? That is the question that you have to ask yourself. I also think that it's a great idea to start looking into the possibility of generating your own leads. That's certainly what I am going to do at some point, because I look at leads as an investment. And that investment, I'm going to get X amount of return on that investment. But if I can increase that and not have to spend as much money on leads and still make a whole lot of money, then of course I want to do that. One way to do that is to generate your own leads. Now, when you first start out, if you don't have any experience with that, that might not be a good idea, which is why I am going directly to the company that I'm going to be working with on their platform, and I'm going to purchase leads from them starting out. And then I'll make decisions as I move forward. But leads are key. Don't underestimate the importance of this part of your business. Now is a perfect time to make a smooth transition right into the follow-up. If we've said that there's critical importance as it pertains to the lead is the lifeblood. The lead allows for us to win. The leads allow for us to get to where we want to get to in the business. We cannot do without the leads. Well, if the leads are so important, then surely, the follow-up is just as important, because those are leads that have now turned into clients. And now that they are clients, certainly, we don't want to turn our backs on them at this point and not reach out to them from time to time, not check on them to see if their needs have changed, not check on them to say, hey, your renewal is coming up. Because here's what happens. If you don't check on them, if you don't check on them from time to time to see if their needs have changed, they will not renew. They will allow for their policies to lapse. And that's when we are doing something that we don't want to do, leaving money on the table. We don't want to leave money on the table. And more importantly, we don't want our customers to not have coverage, right? We think that we have a great product. We know that it serves our customers, so we don't want them to be without our products. So we have to follow up. Remember, there's always, always, always success in the follow-up. Don't forget that. That's a key part of your business. If you don't follow up well, you will leave money on the table. We're not in the business of leaving money on the table. We're in the business of serving customers and making money. So make sure you master the follow-up. Next up, let's talk about chargebacks. None of us like to hear the word chargeback, but it happens from time to time. And here's why I think it happens. Because we don't build value in the products that we sell. If you're selling an insurance product and you haven't built value, you haven't shown what it is and how it works and why it's important, then the customer will cancel on you. They will let the policy lapse because they don't really see the value. That's your job to make sure that you paint the picture so that they can see it. And then they'll keep the policy because they understand the importance of the coverage. But if you don't include the value, they'll get rid of it. So chargebacks can become a problem if you are not covering your bases. If you are not building value in the products that you're selling, chargebacks can become a problem. I am not particularly worried about chargebacks, but I am going into it with the mindset that these things happen. And they can happen more often than I would like if I don't nail down my customers, if I don't build value from start to finish, if I don't explain clearly how the product works. So I want to make sure that I pay special attention to how I sell my product, how I build that value. That's critically important to your success. Don't sleep on building value. So to this point, we've talked about leads, follow-ups, and chargebacks. And I said that I would share with you 3 of the biggest concerns that I have in this business, but because I like to underpromise and overdeliver, give you more than you bargained for, I'm gonna give you 1 more to grow on as a bonus. And that is cash flow. Cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. What is cash flow? It's very simple. It's the balance of the money that comes into our business and the money that goes out of our business, right? So we want to make sure that we have a healthy cash flow. That's your job and my job to manage our cash flow. We need to know how much money is coming in, how much money we're spending on leads. What is the return on that investment? That's critically important. We can't just be spending money and have no idea how much money we're making, because then we get into trouble with our cash flow. If we're buying certain leads, we need to know the type of leads that we're buying, the money that we're investing in those particular leads, and the return on investment for those leads. And then compare that against other leads that you're buying, because you don't want to keep buying leads that you're not getting a good return on your investment with. Just makes sense, right? It passes common sense test to buy leads that you get the biggest return on. We have to make sure that we're managing cash flow, that we are keeping an eye on the money that comes in, the money that goes out, the balance that's left over. We need to know what that amount is, and we need to be constantly reinvesting money into our business so that it can grow. So now let's sum this video up. I've outlined 4 areas of the business that I will be paying close attention to. Number 1, I talked about leads, how important it is to have a good, trusted lead source. I think we can both agree that leads are the lifeblood of your business. If they are that important, we certainly should be paying close attention. The follow-up is number 2. The follow-up. We said there's success in the follow-up, and we must master the follow-up. You don't want to just leave that customer. You want to do right by that customer. And what happens when you do that is that they will renew. And not only will they renew, they will introduce you to people that they know. Number 3, chargebacks. We don't like to hear that word sometimes, but it's a part of what we do. But we can minimize chargebacks if we tie down the business, if we build value in the product. Number 4, we talked about cash flow. Cash flow is critically important to your success. It is what allows for you to build a business. So we have to pay close attention to the cash flow, making sure we keep a positive cash flow and reinvest into the business. So those are the areas that we talked about today. Do you agree with these areas? Do you have a different set of things that you would be paying attention to? Drop us a comment in the comment section and let us know. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. See you at the top, because the bottom is too crowded.
Please like, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss anything.